folks, Kieran here again. I hope you're all good. Yeah, just thought I'd do a quick video about the situation in Ukraine recently. I haven't done much research into this at all. I've looked at Wikipedia for about half an hour, and I've watched the news a bit, but the news isn't particularly informative on this issue. It's just saying the same thing night after night, and nothing really about the history or background of this stuff. It's not fantastically informative. But my basic view is that the international community should recognize Crimea as being part of Russia now. Crimea had a vote a few months ago saying they want to be part of Russia and not part of Ukraine, from what I've read on Wikipedia. And the vote wasn't, the question wasn't asked perfectly well. It should have said something like, do you want to be part of Russia now instead of Ukraine, or do you not want to do that? But they said there was something about the do you want to be part of Russia, or do you want to accept the Ukrainian Constitution of 1992 or something? Not sure what that was all about, but from what I can make out, basically it would the whole thing would be taken to be, do you want to be part of Russia, or do you want to continue to be part of Ukraine? Crimea is I haven't looked at the map that carefully, but I think it's adjacent to Russia to some degree. I think there's a bit of it's a bit of a kind of weird, funny peninsula stroke island, but I think it's close enough to Russia that it's not like a little oasis it wouldn't be a little oasis of Russia within Ukraine. So it's reasonably sensible that map-wise that it's becomes part of Russia. There's also some other region I saw in the news recently, I think, doing the same thing. So yeah, I think the international community should recognize those places, their desire to be part of Russia instead of Ukraine. I don't see why it would harm anyone else that those regions get to be part of the country they want to be part of, according to a democratic referendum which has taken place. Awful lot of stuff on the news about the news seems to be sort of following the kind of tone of the U.S. government, and certainly the British government seem to be following the U.S. government here. They seem to have be playing some kind of political game where they're against Russia, and they don't want Russia to gain these regions, and they, as far as I know, don't give a damn about people of Crimea or any of these regions. Yeah, so that's it really. The news is kind of really disappointed in the news. They're still calling it an annexation of Crimea by Russia. That's probably not quite the way to say it. Actually, I should have looked up what annexing means, but this is a kind of grassroots thing where the people of Crimea really want to be. They probably have always felt Russian, and it's just happened to they've taken an opportunity to join Russia now. And a lot of stuff on the news about, like, they're always repeating the same things, like they've kind of descended the civil war. Well, maybe it is, but if the international community actually recognize these regions, or actually recognize these democratic votes, then I think it'd be much less likely to sink into civil war. I think we're going to get civil war if people have votes and things, and they are completely ignored, and that's when things are going to get more violent. News going on about Vladimir Putin a lot. He's kind of, I don't think they should, this issue is more important than Putin. These people don't want to be part of Russia because of Vladimir Putin. Presumably it's an ethnic sort of choice they're making, that they want to be part of Russia. Maybe Putin is doing bad things. Maybe he's overstepping the mark in some ways, but in recognizing Crimea as part of Russia at this time, I don't think he is overstepping the mark. I think he's doing what is right. Any country who has a region that wants to be part of that country that's on the border with them, then should welcome that region. As far as I can make out, I don't think the Russian people are really against having Crimea as part of their country. I don't know anything about that, but I doubt that they are. It just seems that the news is just trying to personalize it by making it all about the Russian leader, which it kind of isn't. also the news keeps, well, obviously reporting what the Western leaders are saying, and one of their arguments seems to be that it's against the constitution of Ukraine for these regions to succeed to Russia, but I think that's more bad on the constitution of Ukraine. I think we've got to override the constitution of Ukraine here, because it's not obviously not recognizing the freedom of these people in Crimea to determine which country they want to be part of. So that's what I've got to say about it. It'd be nice if I'd done a bit more research, but maybe this will fire people up and make people do some more research, or force me to do some more research. And I've actually made a public statement on it, based on my limited knowledge. Anyway, I hope you found that interesting. All the best.